going stitches out. Let's do this. Hello, vlog number 26. I haven't filmed anything in ages. This is a bit of a surprise to me, but I had a chance to do it, so I'm going to go. You'll have to forgive the slightly unusual lighting setup. Usually I use this window as a key light, but as you may notice right now, it is quite sunny, so that's changed things a little bit. But otherwise, let's begin. Number 26. I'm back in hospital. As it stands right now, no one knows what's wrong with me, only that something is wrong with me, because I'm very, very sweaty, very frequently, and rigoring all over the place, and it's not very nice. In terms of content for today, I'm still in hospital. I'm back. I'm getting used to life back on the hospital, and specifically this time as well, I'm on a bay, so it's a little bit different. They take out a couple of stitches from my Hickman line, and I have a terrible night's sleep because of a snorer on that very same bay, and fashioned some sort of MacGyver-esque headband to try and let myself sleep, or else I was going to murder him. But let's begin. As having a giant camera next to your head while you do this in any way off-putting, because if you say yes, I will move it. It really is okay.
That's alright. Alright.
Yeah, it's all good. Not painful at all. It's just coming out, not painful, not uncomfortable, in no way bad whatsoever. Don't be afraid of it at all.
Oh. That's opened up, so they may want to...
They chose to leave some in though because it hadn't completely healed, so they did the rest a couple of days later, but it was on the way. It was nearly done.
And I'll just do it.
Oh.
At least the other one in, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
It's opened a little bit. I don't want to do the other one and then it opens completely.
Yeah.
And you've got to be so nervous.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
I'll just put in the chat.
That bit up there. That's where it's opened. I see. Yeah, especially flattering view. 1 inch above my nipple. There we go. Okay, it's Wednesday, 23rd of October. It's about 5 o'clock. I've been really rubbish. I've not filmed anything today. Principally because I'm embarrassed of filming on a bay, because there are lots of other men. Now, I've mentioned this before, I don't really like vlogging in front of people I don't know. I don't really like vlogging in front of people I do know, but in front of people I don't know, it's actually much, much worse, and it's really, really fucking embarrassing. So I didn't really do it that much. While I was on the ward for the first couple of days, the only option I had was I felt like if I whispered to the camera, but that was weird as well, so I didn't do much of anything. Just so you can experience this for yourself, I encourage you to try vlogging. So use your phone. You don't need to have a camera. You don't need to have anything like this with a whacking great big lens on the front. Just try it with your phone. Sit in a hospital bay or walk through a hospital and hold it out in front of you like this and talk to it. And just see how you feel. And I'm going to wager you feel like a gigantic twat. They've assured me they don't mind and they won't make fun of me. So I'm doing this now. I'm being quiet though, and they're all talking to other people. So yeah, I'm trying to weigh things in my favour. But it is embarrassing talking to a camera when other people are around. Anyway, as it stands, today, well last night I didn't sleep a lot. I had things going on, sort of 11, 12, I think I filmed, I can barely remember what was happening, but I'll check the footage and remember myself. I know I had an x-ray at 2 o'clock and got wheeled down there, which was actually kind of fun. I filmed that particular thing, kind of looked like a horror film, which was kind of cool. I quite enjoyed that bit. And then slept-ish when I got back. You know, it's a bay, people snore, there's noise, but I slept somewhat, so it wasn't too bad. As of this morning, the bloods that I had taken at the doctor's yesterday have just disappeared into the ether. They can't access them here, so it's like they never happened. Okay, so they didn't lose my bloods this time, although when I started watching, I should say I was expecting to be writing about being all indignant. Ah, they lost my bloods again! But no, none of that. In this particular case, the bloods weren't there because they were done by my GP, who, one, did them wrong, despite being told what vial to use and exactly what test to do. But no, they didn't get it right. And even if they had, it turns out that because of the way the NHS operates, all with the different trusts, and none of them are interconnected. Political side note, Labour did try once to introduce an IT system that would link all of the UK hospitals under the NHS, and they spent billions of pounds and failed miserably, and so they gave up and just kept using paper. So once you go outside a hospital trust, namely Derriford, I don't know what trust it's called, but once you go outside the hospital trust, it's very difficult to access bloods from different places. I think in this case, my local GP sent it to Trelisk, the HSCT trust, and thus they were gone into the ether. I also realised later with future blood tests, once I get out and have to start doing them at my GP again, that they do them wrong every single time. They use the wrong vials, they do the wrong tests, they send them to the wrong places, even when they're told how to do it. They took more bloods this morning. Obviously I've got a new cannula, haha. The nurse who was putting it in at about 11:30 last night, not a nurse, she was a doctor.
She was lovely, she was really nice, very nice lady, but she was terrible, just terrible.
In the kindest possible way, she was very nice. I think she was fairly newly qualified, and she couldn't get one in my arm. And it was kind of funny. She said it was going to be an issue because my arms are so hairy. I got like with all the chemo. My head is like a tic tac.
Now I have a very similar hairstyle to Steve Jobs. I made this joke to some of my students and they don't know who Steve Jobs is. And I don't know how this can happen because every single bloody one of them own an iPhone and ridiculous earpods, but they don't know who Steve Jobs is. The world's gone mad. I'm old.
But this is all hairy, so I gave her some scissors to trim the hair. She managed to cut me. So it's only small, but she literally cut off a bit of skin.
I think, to be honest, she was really embarrassed by it. At least I kind of hope that's what it was, because she didn't acknowledge it or apologise or do anything. We both just kind of ignored it. So I sat there afterwards just bleeding a little bit, and neither of us mentioned it.
And then she put the cannula in. So there were two stingy bits, and then the cannula didn't work, so that was a no-go. So she put one in the hand, which is fine, annoying, but fine. I've had 3 lots of Tazocin. So Tazocin is a broad-spectrum antibiotic, basically which Dr. Hunter, the consultant hematologist, referred to as Domestos.
In case brand names are different elsewhere, Domestos is bleach.
So basically it's to try and hit anything that I could have, because the shorter version of where I was going with all this is they have no idea. I've got a fever, still I don't anymore, but I keep getting hot and stuff, and I've got a fan, which I'll film in a minute, pointed at me at all times. But I have no other signs of what could be wrong. So I have no cough, no sore throat, no bad stomach, nothing. I'm fine, aside from the fact I get very hot. So we will wait and see. My mum got very mad at me because she said I didn't tell her that I was going to be coming in here, and to defend myself in that respect, because I didn't know I was going to be coming back here, you know. I didn't expect to be coming back in last night. She'll be calling later on. My wife came and visited me this morning. She promised me she wouldn't, like literally promised. She was messaging me about not coming in while she was driving in, which is very nice of her and fucking annoying, because I don't like it having to go through the stress of it. And then on the way home, she thinks she might have got caught speeding. So I said I'd pay for that, and that's all cool. That's all cool, I don't mind doing that. It's just, you know, if you hadn't been coming up here, I wouldn't have to pay for the speeding.
My wife has insisted I clarified that she was not caught speeding. My wife would never speed, ever.
Basically waiting to figure out, so I'm still waiting for the results on the cultures to figure out if they know what it could be. But that's where we are now, that's it. The Tazocin gives you a bit of a funny stomach, I'd forgotten that.
Of course it does. Everything gives you a bad stomach. You have to remember, and I said this many times before, diarrhea is a part of your life during HSCT.
So my return to once a day is done. Not a nightmare. It's not back to the terrible days of near IBS. But that's it. That's it. I'm gonna turn this off now because people might start talking, and my camouflage will be done. Also, I'm using my phone as a light, so it's not the best setup. Anyway, that's it. I'll speak to you later.
That is my fan. That fan was pointed at me for 3 days straight and was pretty much the only thing keeping me alive. Had it not been there, I would have melted into a pile of sort of human gooey meat by the 3rd day of my stay. So yeah, all thanks to that fan. I think I do look pretty, and I think the bow genuinely suits me.
Okay, I tried to catch it on the audio recorder there. I'm not sure if I pick it up, but there's a very nice gentleman over on the side there who happens to also be the loudest snorer in all the southwest. He's already on his side, so there is literally nothing to be done except listen to him snore, and it means I can't sleep.
Can you hear him? Can you hear him? He is 3 bed spaces away from me. He is behind 2 or 3 curtains, and I am using, right now, and was then, a directional microphone to record sounds. Now, directional microphone is designed to have a pickup pattern that is directly in front of the microphone. Its whole point of existence is to cut out sound from other parts of the room. And you can still hear him! I love the NHS. I really, really love the NHS. And I genuinely think you could get like a 10%, 15% budget recapture if you find everybody who was on a ward and snored all the way through the night.
What you may notice is that I'm wearing an unusual piece of head attire. So the nurse Sarah
has rigged me up. She didn't have any ear defenders. A bandage wrapped around my head with a pretty bow. And it's really hot, but it does make him fractionally quieter. So I'm going to see which one I can tolerate better and try to sleep. Apparently they sell earplugs down in the shop, so I'll be getting those tomorrow. But I just thought you might like to see me looking pretty. So, good night. Bye-bye.
Okay, so an up and down day today. It is Thursday the 24th. Started well. I slept last night, didn't get fevery, which was really good, and thought that it was sorted, all was good. Tazocin success. Sadly, by about 10 o'clock, started shivering and then got really hot and very sweaty. So it turns out that the
MS word finding.
The Tazocin hadn't worked, and so this happened a few times. So I keep getting fevers throughout the day. This is my third or fourth now. I feel really hot now. Temperature 38.5.
In reviewing, I thought I was going to look, you know, that sweaty Jordan Peele meme.
That's your journey. It is your fantasy. Just,
you know, where the sweat is dripping down his face.
Baby, give me a little credit.
I thought that's what I was going to look like, but I don't. I look normal, which is actually really worrying because I had a temperature of like 38.5, 39, and I look the same there as I do now.
They're gonna do swabs later today or tomorrow. Now they didn't do that before because they had to put me in a side room. Once they swab you, they're meant to put you in a side room, and they didn't have any. They still don't have any, but I think they're just going to waiver that idea and keep me here and not tell anybody, which is fine. My wife is quite happy. She feels vindicated. She said she thought it was viral to begin with, and so she's quite pleased with herself. A little annoyed that she did.
MS word finding.
If they'd done what she suggested in the first place, then it might have been already a system found by that point. But nonetheless, sadly, the Tazocin has failed. So it just means they're going to be here for longer. So I originally thought I might be out by Saturday or Sunday, but in all likelihood it will probably be next week at best. So I don't know. Things have changed here on the bay. There's a gentleman called Crispin who's here with me now. Everybody else seems to have left. Hello, Crispin. Crispin is probably wondering what on earth I'm doing, but Nigel is gone, Dave is gone, Mark is still here over in the corner. It's kind of funny, I was talking to Nigel earlier on.
One of those men was the snorer. Based on the name, can you guess who?
Don't realise how much of a difference the people that are on the bay makes to your stay. You know, the random people you get chucked into a room with, and the sort of really short relationships that you build with those people based on sort of fairly quick conversations. They make a really big difference. How well you get on with them, what kind of sense of humour you have. All those kinds of things, whether you share interests, whether you can talk about normal stuff, it makes a really, really big difference. And I think those three guys, sort of Dave, Nigel and Mark, had been sort of three amigos for quite a while. So I kind of feel bad for Mark that he's the last man standing. My understanding is that now we've got, so there's Crispin, myself, Mark, we're also going to get a Chris, we're also going to get a Christian.
Christian was really young, like 22 young. Whenever people try to like offer sympathy, and they're really nice, like to say, "Oh no, it must have been terrible," and I get all that, but when you're there and you're on a haematology ward and you've got somebody like that who's in the bed next to you, it really, really puts it in perspective. You know, because he doesn't know that after a year and a half of this, he doesn't actually know if he's going to get better. So me with me wobbly legs and stuff, yeah, I'm okay.
There's a bed being wheeled in now, but there's nobody in it. It's
Christian, meet Chris and Crispin.
Hello there, Christian. How's it going? You're right.
Yeah, how's it? How's it hanging? These two look after you.
Makes a big difference to what your time here is like. So yeah, it's always a bit of a dice roll, and it's quite interesting. And it's funny because you know most people in your life are 500-600 friends on Facebook, 2,000 followers on Instagram, whatever.
I posted one Instagram image in all the time I've had an account, and that was to enter a competition. Quite frankly, Instagram scares me. I don't like the system. I don't like you have to do it on mobile all the time. I don't like there's no desktop setup. I don't like the 1-minute video limit. I don't like the creation of the perfect life with every image. I don't like that you can't properly format text when you write stuff. I realise saying all of this, how old I am. Facebook is terrible in so many ways, the politics, the memes, the grammar, but I'm 34. Facebook is my natural habitat.
They might ask, you might get maybe, you might put it on Facebook that you've got cancer, or you might put it on Facebook that you've got MS, you might put it on Facebook that something's happened, and a small, very, very small percentage of those will message, an even smaller percentage of those will actually mean it when they want to find out what's going on, like that they really want to know, not they're made horribly uncomfortable by the conversation and tried to shut the conversation down, which is generally how it goes. And I understand that, you know, we've all been there. It's like, what do I say? I don't know what to say. So it's kind of nice when you're here, these people you've just met, that you can have conversations about illness, about treatment, and you can talk about stuff that's going on, and you know they're interested, and you're interested in what's going on with them, and you can talk about drugs and stuff and the effects and how you've all responded differently. I hadn't really considered that. And I hadn't even really thought about it before when I was here the first time, because I was only on the bay for a couple of days, and then I was put into the isolation room. But now you realise the significance of like those people on the bay and what it means to be able to talk to those. You know, and the reality is I'll probably never see them again. You know, except for Kirsty, who I see all the time. Hello. Yeah. So it's just an unusual thing, something you never really consider when you come into hospital. And it's something to take into account, and something you have absolutely no control of. I'm sure everybody's going to be lovely, but yeah, we'll wait and see what the next few days are going to be like. Strangely, I seem to have quite a lot of energy for this recording. I feel really hot, and I've been really tired and sluggish, and not done anything. I've just sat here and stared like a zombie for the last 35 minutes. Maybe I should film more. It seems to give me more energy. Either that, or I'm going to wipe myself out in the next 7 minutes and need to go to sleep. So, in either case, I'm going to stop now, and I'll speak to you later. Thursday the 24th of October at about 10 to 11. I feel like shit. Seeing Dr. Hunter, I honestly told her that I didn't feel any sort of flu-like symptoms or anything. And it was all true at the time. And then about 4 hours later, I get a cough and a sore throat and all of those things. And the paracetamol doesn't reduce the temperature like it usually does. So I got a temperature of 39.8. Which I still have. So they called the doctor, who can offer nothing else for me, so I'm just going to stay hot. And they took some more cultures. Just wanted to film because I feel rubbish, and that's it. And I'm moaning. And finished. So yeah, it was weird being back. I said goodbye to everybody. I was free, and then I came back a few days, and it was like I'd never even been gone. So, a funny thing. Very strange. It was one of the worst I'd felt throughout the whole HSCT process. Not in terms of feeling sick. The chemo stuff was obviously way worse for that. But in just terms of feeling run down and just completely gone. And like I said, they're very, very hot. I know you didn't really see it in the footage, but I can attest, based on my level of sticky, there was a lot of disagreeable sweating throughout the 3 days that I was in there for this time. And watching again, there was a number of things I'd forgotten, like the nature of your bay mates, how well you get on with the people on the bay makes a big difference to how much you enjoy your time there. Everybody was nice enough, and people would chat, and it was all fairly light-hearted. But there was one person in there that I didn't really get on with all that well. It wasn't antagonistic. We weren't horrible to each other, but we were just quite different people, and we sort of rubbed each other a little bit up the wrong way. And it's sort of, you can have that, and you could have a whole room of people like that, and then the next day everybody goes out, new bay mates, you're having good chats, and it's like you're at uni with a bunch of mates again. And then it's kind of weird because you have that relationship, you're all really vulnerable, and then you never speak to each other ever again. I mean, if you're anything like me, at least, I'm rubbish at maintaining communication like that, and I haven't spoken to any of those guys. Unless you keep going back to clinics every Wednesday, and you see the person that you didn't get on with very well every single week until you were discharged, and had to do a sort of thing in the waiting room where you'd look at each other and sort of go, you all right? Yeah. And you don't make any effort to talk to each other and kind of ignore each other's existence. That was quite uncomfortable. In the next one, what happens? Swabbing for flu, checking for EBV virus. EBV? Oh, no, hang on. EBV. V is the virus. So EBV. And do they do the rituximab? So they give me a swab, which I don't particularly enjoy. They sort of go right to the back of the throat. I have to fill in my consent form for the treatment they're going to give, which is called rituximab. It's a different kind of chemotherapy, and I think they confirmed that I have the EBV virus. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very, very much for watching. I've been recording this now for 32 minutes. Which is horrifying, because I know I have to edit it still. I can only apologise. This is really only apologise. I can only apologise if this is a very, very long vlog. I'll try my best not to make it that way. Thank you very much for watching. As ever, if you would please be so kind as to like, subscribe, and all those kinds of things, I'd be hugely appreciative. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye for now.
And oh yes, and I have a very bad night's sleep. And I have a very bad night's sleep because of a store. No, they chose sleeves. And you're. It's like, well, to be honest. But other than that, yeah, that's not going to count. I'm not going to use this one. No. He has 3 bed spaces.